How are you guys doing? This one's called Watch Channel's Claims of International Celebrity Rock Band May Be Exaggerated or False. Now I say let that Watch Channel talk all he wants. Let him tell all the stories he wants. Let him talk till he's blue in the face. Let him talk to his heart's content. But we don't have to believe every word he says, do we? We don't have to believe any of it. Now, it's easy to get on there and say, oh yeah, I hung around with the big rock stars, big acts, and did tours with them and this and that. It's easy to say that. Sure. Impresses the gullible. You can exaggerate all you want. Whatever. Now this particular watch channel did play in a band. Really did. So that part is somewhat accurate. But all the stuff around it, you don't have to believe it, man. You don't have to believe it. You can just pass it off as false, or you can pass it off as just being exaggerated. And the reason for that is because there's really no way you can verify anything this watch channel is saying. This watch channel has made claims, oh yeah, my band, we toured with this big international act, big international band that's famous and all that. We toured with them. The main guy of the band, he felt bad because we didn't get paid. Yeah, we just went around in a little van. We didn't get paid and felt bad over that. The head guy, he tried to help us, but he couldn't do anything for us. Man, I mean, the thing is, if you didn't get paid and did all that work, then the what do you call these subscribers can go on the Patreon and then subscribe to your Patreon and pay you that way. That way you get paid. So that's the message, right? That's really the message. Now, there's really no way to prove the claims because I even wrote to the, this is true, I even wrote to the band's official site and asked them to verify the story. They couldn't answer me. There you go. I've went into all kinds of deep internet research to verify the claims and stories. I couldn't even connect the two bands together. Yeah. So pass the vodka, please. Yes, sir. Must be just drunk stories, maybe. But we don't have to believe it. It may be true, it may be false, but we don't have to believe it. We could just pass it off as being exaggerated. Now, if somebody's drinking all this vodka, is their claims of stories really that accurate? And really, like making claims of vodka drinking and drunk driving kind of stuff, or like going around with drunk drivers and all this stuff and crashing, does that really impress people? Does it really impress people? I know you toured with the famous band, but there's no evidence. At least I can find. Maybe you guys are better researchers. Maybe you can find the evidence, but I think I spent enough time looking for evidence I can't find. You'd think you'd be able to find evidence somewhere. Like you can find evidence that the Watch Channel really did play in a band. You can find that. You can find evidence that this so-called Watch Channel did do some shows with bands that were pretty much unknown. Like I'm talking about bands that are maybe just one level above bar bands. Maybe just one little bit level above that, where a band that just plays in bars locally, and then maybe they just tour a little bit around in a province or state or something. They might have a little single, like a little record they put out or something. Maybe just about ready for a record deal, maybe one little demo record out. Those kind of bands, you know. That's a far cry from international bands that filled giant stadiums for like 3 nights at Madison Square Garden. 3 nights and chuck full and couldn't, like full house, couldn't put another person in the seats. And the guys in the VIP seats are paying over $1,000 a seat. You know, that's a far cry from that, I tell you. But then the stories about, oh yeah, drinking all the vodka and getting out, driving around and getting in trouble, car accidents and all this and that. Getting a big car crash, the police just come on and say, oh yeah, man, you're free to go home. We'll even drive you home. Is that how it works, man? You mean that's how it works? You get in a big car accident with drinking and driving, and the police just say, oh, you're okay, we'll just drive you home. Well, I never knew it worked that way. Jeez. If that works that way, man, we're in a different reality, because the reality I've seen, if anybody gets in any kind of car accident, passenger, driver, the passenger is just taken right down and questioned left, right, and center, and the passenger eventually ends up in court, and that's how it really works where I come from. I don't know what fantasy land like this watch channel comes from, but where I come from in the real world, that's what happens. Passenger and driver get in a really bad car crash, like totaling a vehicle, and there's been drunk driving involved. They're both going to court and testifying, even if they have to testify against each other. That's how it works in the real world. But who knows, right? We don't have to believe it, but let the guy talk. Let the guy talk to his heart's content. He can talk. He can do like 50-minute videos every day if he wants to. Freedom of speech. Let him talk all he wants. Too bad he wouldn't let us reply in the comments section without censoring us. If we said, I think that story's baloney, he'd censor that out in no time, wouldn't he? If we said, you're drunk, he'd censor that out in no time. So let him talk all he wants, but he'll censor us if we question anything. If we say, oh, is your review sponsored? He'd censor that out too. So it's a little bit of a double standard, I guess. Let him talk all he wants, but he'll censor us out. But what we can do instead is we can talk about it on our own channels, right? And we can question things. That's what we got a brain for, is to question things. We got a brain so we don't have to believe everything we're told, everything we hear. And that goes for anything that's going on. Even in current events, we don't have to believe everything we're told by the mainstream media. We don't have to believe everything we're told by big watch channels. Just because a watch channel is big doesn't mean we have to believe everything they say, because everything they might be saying is baloney. So we don't have to believe it. Just use your head, do some research, ask questions, write to people that do know, and if they don't answer you, probably don't know the answer. Or maybe they think your question is irrelevant. Because when I wrote to this official site of this international famous rock band, I asked them questions. They didn't answer me back. They probably didn't even know what I was talking about. That's the impression I got. So, it's not uncommon for friends and neighbors or people you might run into to make big extravagant claims of huge acts and huge rock stars. Like, I knew a guy that was a neighbor, and he claimed that he hung around with this big, huge Los Angeles band, made all these claims, and I don't think they were true, And I knew another fellow, he'd walk downtown, sometimes I'd walk downtown with him. This other guy would come up and he'd make these claims at how he knew this band before they could become famous. A big band in Toronto, he knew them before they become famous. Oh yeah, it's very convenient how these guys go about it. And the thing is too, you ever notice that after the rock star's dead, that's when they really bring it out and cash in on that, because the rock star himself, after he's dead, he can't debunk the claims, can he? Or after the band's broke up or anything, they can't come back and debunk the claims as easy. So what do you guys think? Comment anything you want, because your comments are not going to be deleted by me. So thank you for your time, you guys. We'll talk again.